Hi folks, sorry this is late. This is for the class of 2031. It is Monday, October 5th. We will start as always with our reading. Today we started our week 5 and we read our expository text, which is just facts without any narrative. We were reading about how families work together this week. So we read a story about how families work, and we were picking out key details about the story. So basically, the main idea of parts of the story. Then they clicked on their classwork, which is under reading, and the classwork was relatively easy once they got to it. It was a lot of reading, so some students stayed in the classroom to have it help getting it read to them. It was about the family business that two families started together. It was a coffee company. And one of the things that we noticed in the expository text that we've been reading is that often they have charts because they do show facts. And so there are charts. This one had charts for how the coffee business was in 1916 compared to today. And then they had basically 4 choices for answers, and they just had to put an X next to the one that was true. So the first one asked you to look at the picture and asked, how did wagons move in the past? So just by looking at the picture, which was down here, no, down, not up, they would look back at the picture, and then their 2 choices were that the down, not up, Miss Billich, that wagons were either pulled by horses or wagons were run on gas. So hopefully they could look at the picture and see, sure doesn't look like they ran on gas, and so forth. So key detail, what happened in 1916. Hopefully they could look at the chart for that because it said about 1916 and today, and put the X next to what choice was correct. Key detail about what happened in 1918. They'd have to look back at the text for that. Oh, this mentions 1918. Looks like they bought their first truck. So again, it's looking for key details. There was a 4th question down here. What happened? Let's take a look. Miss Billick looks like she's having trouble moving this. Looking at the chart, what does the chart compare? Does it compare 2 different companies or a company in the past and now? So these are comparing, looking for key details both in the pictures, in the text, and in any charts that are there in the expository text. So that's what we're working on all week for our key components. Then we went on to science after lunch. We have moved on from our what is matter to learning about the properties of matter. So first they needed to learn what the word properties meant. We had a great lesson from Miss Travis on what properties are. And then they had an exit ticket in the form of this quiz for 4 questions. Some students were read the questions by us, and some students did it on their own. And then these 4 questions had 3 choices each. So they took that, and then we moved on to math. They just finished chapter 1, which was about single digit addition and subtraction up to 20. So now in math, they've moved on to chapter 2, which is about skip counting, which I explained to the students is basically their precursor to multiplication, which they'll be doing in third grade. So they first looked at a hundreds chart, and they noticed that you can skip count by twos, and they'll learn what the word even means. They're all even numbers. We haven't discussed what even means yet, but they went by 2, 4, 6, 8. Notice that pattern. And then they skip counted by fives, 5, 10, 15, 20. And then they went on the hundreds chart by tens. And notice that they all ended in 0, 10, 20, 30, 40. So after that, we did some work in the workbook, and then they did the homework pages, which I put onto these 2 slides. So they were supposed to fill in these boxes, which basically was skip counting and then filling in the missing numbers, either by looking back at the hundreds chart or just by noticing the pattern and seeing if it was skip counting by twos, by tens, or by fives. On this page, they just had to fill in the missing numbers. On this page, they had to fill in the missing numbers as well as identify the skip count. And then they had a couple of word problems, and then choose which one was not an example of a skip count. That was it. And then they went back to their traditional afternoon work. Like always, our ReadWorks article of a day series this week is on health and the body. They have 6 articles that they have to read by the end of the week. I believe there are a good 10 articles that they can choose from, but they only have to read 6. It looks like 2 students have already read and written in the book of knowledge for each one, which is pretty amazing. I'll have to check that out later. And today's ReadWorks article was 5 questions, multiple choice of a small little article on what plants need. And the regular afternoon work afterwards was the same as always, about 20 minutes if they could do it. Stop moving that, Miss Billich. On Khan Academy, and then 20 minutes on read theory, and 20 minutes, still moving it, on, I'm not going to mess with that so that I don't mess around with people, 20 minutes on IXL. So hopefully they were able to get that done for their practice. That's it for today. Have a great day.